This is Johnston, packet tracer 6416, configuring IPv4 route summarization. So basically, we're going to be summarizing these networks. So basically, we're going to AND these networks. Once you AND them, then you can figure out the summary. And you AND them looking at the network bits and also the host bits. And this is basically the summary of what we get when we AND each one of these networks together. So when you add the 66 and 64 and the 70 and 70 here and the 68 and 69 here, this is what you get. Right here is your solution here. And that's what we're going to use to configure our summary routes. So first thing is we're going to go and set up our headquarters. And do configure terminal. We're going to do IP route 172.22.70.0 subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. And this is a direct attach, so it's going to be S0/0/0 because it's a physical port you're basically connecting with. And our next one's going to be recursive summary route, so it's basically going to be the next hop ahead. So for headquarters, this next hop ahead for the 71 is going to be our next, basically our next serial port right here. So if we look up here, we will see the 71.6. See it right here. So this next hop is for branch 2 that we're going to be doing right now. So let's go ahead and put that in. So it's going to be IP route 172.22.68.0 with a mask of 255.255.254 from when we did the ANDing process. And then it's going to be 172.22.71.6. And there we go, we got the headquarters set up. Now let's go ahead and go to branch 1. Do enable configure terminal. And then our next step is going to be putting IP route 172.22.64.0 subnet mask of 255.255.252.0. And then it's going to be, because we're doing a recursive summary, we're going to type in our next hop that we're going to go into, which is usually the serial cable in this situation. So there we go. So branch 1's next hop basically is our next serial port right here under headquarters. So if we look at the 71.1, we will see right here 71.1 right there. Alright, so we're going to have to do another hop. And this time, if you look at our network diagram here, we want to go, because we did a hop to the headquarters and summarize that network. Now we're going to do another hop to branch 2 and summarize that network. So basically, we got the branch 2 summary right here. So we're going to put 172.22.68.0 with subnet mask of 255.255. Look right here. And basically, we're going to be seeing a /22 when it comes to doing our headquarters. And in this case, because we're going to basically, if you look up here, you'll see that the ANDing was a /22. That's why it's a 254 right here. And it's going to be, for our next hop, it's going to be the same exact thing, because it's going to the serial port right there, which is actually the headquarters serial port. So We'll go ahead and put that there. So that one's all configured for our branch 1. Now we got our branch 2 that we had to configure. And this one's going to be IP route 172.22.70.0 with subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. And you can see right here branch 2 is trying to connect to branch 1. And the next serial port, the 71.5, is right here for the headquarters. So it's right there, it's that one. And we basically just summarized which direction that these packets will be going to. So, and this one's a directly attached configuration right now, so that's why we're putting the serial port there. And then our next one will be recursive here, which will be going to our headquarters, which will be on this one .64. And if we look up here, it's a /22, so it's going to be a 252 right here .0. And then the next port is going to be 172.22.71.5, which is a serial port. And that one's all configured. And our next one is going to be our ISP, which is going to summarize all 3 of these. So you just and all 3 of those IP addresses. And then and we'll see right here. So basically I did configure terminal, and inside configure terminal we're going to do IP route 172.22.64.0, and 64 is the lowest IP address. That's pretty much this one right here, and that's why we used it, because it covers all the other IP addresses underneath it. And if you summarize all of the networks, it's 255.255.248.0, and this is going to be a direct connect setup, so it's physically connected to S0/0/1. And there we go. And now we should be able to ping across our network. It would probably mess up on the first one, because that's just how routers are. It'll say failed, but the next time we do it, alright, so we basically want to test our network, so I was pinging this network right over here. So you see the IP address for the gigabit Ethernet 0/0 was 172.22.68.1, and that's what I pinged. And of course, from branch 1 is the one I was in right now that I pinged to branch 2. So it did a successful ping. So let's go ahead and we'll exit this one and get to the main prompt here. And if we look at here, so we have gigabit Ethernet. We'll just try the 0/0, which is 172.22.70.1. So we're going to ping 172.22.70.1. Everything's successful. And I already pinged everything at one time, because the first time is always a failure. So I'm going to go ahead and in here, I'm going to see if I can actually ping this guy to ISP. So he really doesn't have anything except for 198.0.0.1. So let's see if it'll go out here. And there we go. So we know it goes all the way from here, from LAN 6 to ISP. This one can ping to that one can ping back. I mean, everything looks like it's pretty good. So there we go. See, this branch can ping the internet too. So everything looks good in our topology here. And on the packet tracer activity, it shows completion 7 out of 7, and everything looks like it's completed.